these are the last characters of the story I've been telling. So I hope you're excited to hear the last two characters of this universe, Lincoln and Beatrix. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. It's so weird every single time I talk about the last characters within a story because I feel like I am making these videos for forever. I feel like all I do is make these videos, but I love it, so I'm not complaining. After this story, there is only one more story I have to share, which is weird, but it's fine. So if you have not seen any of my other OC videos, I would suggest watching Aspen's video and then all the videos after, so Milo and Bishop, because I am going to be talking in this video as if you had seen those videos. Go watch those if you haven't, because this video probably won't make a whole lot of sense unless you've seen those. A lot of you guys have mixed feelings about my rambling, but I'm just going to jump right into it and not ramble at all. So here's Lincoln and Beatrix. So neither of them have last names. Their names are just Lincoln and Beatrix as of right now. They are both 23, they are both female, and they are both extroverts. I'll talk about Lincoln first and then I'll talk about Beatrix, but yeah. Here we go. Lincoln is a very charismatic person. She's just the type of person that you really remember and you really remember fondly. She tends to leave quite a big impression on people. She's also like very high energy. She's very, I don't really know how to describe it without sounding mean. She's a little extra, but she's like, it's all with good intention. She just gets really excited about things, especially with things that she's really passionate about. So she's usually the louder of the two. Between Lincoln and Beatrix, Lincoln is more like, I don't want to say handholdy, but she's more like, she's a lot softer, I guess you can say. Like whenever there's an issue going on, Lincoln tends to sugarcoat it and try and make things not seem as bad as they actually are. And Beatrix is the complete opposite. She's not afraid to enforce discipline whenever it's needed, or to say things how they or to say things how they are, or to call someone out on something. She's just very blunt. She tells it how it is, and she's a lot more like relaxed than Lincoln. In contrast to Lincoln, people don't tend to think that Beatrix is an extrovert. It's just that Lincoln is a lot more energetic than Beatrix is, and so even though they're both very social people, Lincoln is the one that people usually remember more because of her more loud personality, whereas Beatrix is a lot more relaxed. So Lincoln and Beatrix are pretty opposite of each other, but they are best friends. They get along incredibly, and they do have two very important characteristics that kind of tie them together that they both have in common, and that's they are both very protective and they are both very nurturing. Those are two characteristics that play into their characters a lot. It's two characteristics that really play into the plot a lot and play into other characters a lot. That's really the main reason that they do get along, because they have very similar goals and they both achieve those goals together because of how similar they are and similar paths that they take. But yeah, again, aside from those two main characteristics, they are very opposite. People are usually surprised when they find out how close they are. So, summary of the story. Again, if you have not seen any of my other OC videos for the story, go watch Aspen's video, because I am going to do a quick recap. I talk more in depth about the plot, I guess, in Aspen's video, and I explain the world a little bit more, so if you have not seen that video, now would be the time to go and click away if you haven't. But for those who have seen it, here's a recap previously on Oliver's Antics. So, this is my not quite zombie fighting universe, and there are these parasites that take over the living and turn them into a zombie-like state, and the government in this world is currently working against these parasites, and they're trying to figure out what they are, how to control it, and how to stop it. It's still a very new thing in this world, so there's not a lot of things known about the parasites, and so they are just trying to figure out what the heck. Now, the three other characters in this universe, Aspen, Milo, and Bishop, they are a part of the PCU, which is Parasite Combat Unit. Lincoln and Beatrix are actually part of the PIU, which is the Parasite Intelligence Unit, where they work more in like the research and stuff, and they are more focused on gathering more information. So they do work with the government, with Aspen and Milo and Bishop, but it's more kind of behind the scenes instead of in the battlefield, I guess you could say. Now, I haven't really talked about how Aspen got tied into everything because, spoilers, these are going to be comics someday, but I don't want to talk about a lot of major stuff just for when that day comes, which is in a million years, but for when it comes, I want you guys to see it in the proper way. So this might not make a whole lot of sense, but basically Lincoln and Beatrix started working with the government in a very similar way to Aspen. The path that Aspen took to get to the government, that is the same way that Lincoln and Beatrix went. And that kind of brings the three of them closer together. Lincoln and Beatrix are, like, obviously they're older than the rest of the main cast, and so they experienced all of that first, and then Aspen got tied into everything before Milo and Bishop did. Hello there, lovely viewer. It's Editing Oliver, and I hope you're doing well as Oliver that was filming this video. Had a little bit of an incident. I lost the line art footage. Here's some stuff from Instagram explaining why. Guys, I might lose some more footage. Please just let me work. It seems I am left with no other option. I'm not even allowed to end the task. Is there a task manager? For my task manager. Please, I'm trying to make a video. Okay, I opened another task manager. And now this one isn't responding! So yeah, I don't actually have the liner, but I'm sorry. And because Aspen was pretty young, and also because their paths were all sort of similar, the three of them kind of just grouped together, and then Lincoln and Beatrix, being the type of people that they are, really tried to comfort Aspen, and Aspen felt like they were the only people who could really understand what she was going through and how they can help her, and so that she really attached onto them. And I mentioned it in Aspen's video, these are the only two people that Aspen actually likes. I don't know what I was starting to say there. These are the two people that Aspen likes, and the only two people that Aspen likes. Hi. Are you gonna be purring right there? Okay, that's fine. In terms of connecting with other people, Aspen feels like these two are the only ones she really has, and so they really mean a lot to her. Lincoln and Beatrix within the PIU, they're very similar to Aspen and her reputation in the PCU. They're like top tier, best of the best, and people tend to look up to them. People tend to fear Aspen a little bit more. Within their own units of the government, all three of them, they're all like top tier, best of the best, your go-to guys. So that's what Lincoln and Beatrix do. That's about all I can really say about them. Again, since these two are more minor characters, they're grouped in together, but they're very important, so that's why I'm talking about them. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, so let's just move on. Now, of course, it is time for everyone's favorite part of the video, the Q&A section. If you want to be a part of future OC videos, so like the next story that I'm going to be talking about, go follow me over on Instagram, because that is where I do these Q&A things. I will post a picture of whatever character it is for the month, and then I will leave that post up for 24 hours, and then you guys can comment whatever you want, and then I go through the comment section after 24 hours, pick out all the questions that I think are interesting or were asked repeatedly, and I answer them here. And of course, to start everything off, we have the 3 traditional questions. They do not have any birthdays or zodiac signs, I'm so sorry. I really need to work on that. But again, feel free, like I always say again, I'm so sorry. As always, you can comment down any birthdays or zodiac signs or months or whatever that you think this character should be born in, and I will at some point make an update on what they are. It's probably not going to be until the 2.0 series of this, but anyway, go comment that. Do they prefer ice cream cake or cookie cake? Lincoln prefers ice cream cake, Beatrix prefers cookie cake. And lastly, use a vine to describe them. The first one is going to be Lincoln and the second one is going to be Beatrix. Go.
I thought you were bae. Turns out you're just fam. Bruh.
Hey, kids! Patricia! Honey, can you be quiet? I'm just trying to do something.
Moving on from those, I should probably get the questions in front of me. That would probably be helpful, huh? How did the two meet? So they actually went to the same school that Aspen, Milo, and Bishop are currently at. Obviously, they graduated because they're 23. That's actually the shirt that Lincoln is wearing. I don't think you can see it very well in this drawing, but it's like a t-shirt from their school. It's Westway High. And they're the Bobcats. That's what Lincoln's shirt is. But they went to that school and they never spoke. They didn't really get along all that much. It's not that they hated each other or had anything against each other, they just didn't seem like the type of people that would get along, and so they never really interacted at all while they were in school together. But due to circumstances, they did end up getting closer. Like I said, they had very similar circumstances to Aspen, and since they were both experiencing it together, they decided to just join together to cope. And then whatever happened, and now they're inseparable. Kind of bouncing off of that question, what was their first impressions of each other? Very mixed. Like I said, they used to not get along very well. It wasn't anything bad, they just didn't seem to click at all. Because obviously, like, visually, they're very different, personality-wise, they're very different, and they're just opposites, basically. And they kind of saw each other as stereotypes. Like, Lincoln saw Beatrix as just this emo, depressing kid, and then Beatrix viewed Lincoln as, like, an annoying, egotistical jock. And then after they got to know each other, they realized that's not really the case, and they kind of got along a lot better after that. What is something that they have that would break them if they lost it? Aspen, basically. For both of them, it's Aspen. After the two of them met Aspen, she kind of became their goal in a sense, because when they first joined the government, they were just kind of going with the flow. Their lives kind of just led them there. It wasn't something that they were really striving for, and then after a while of being in there, they didn't really know what they were hoping to achieve, and then eventually Aspen joined, and they both saw themselves in her. And so their new goal together was to just protect Aspen and make sure that she's okay and help her in her goals. And that's basically their entire point of their characters. The entire reason that they exist is for Aspen. And so if they lost Aspen, they would be nothing, both in terms of their writing in our world and in their story. So, what are their heights, and are they happy with their heights? They don't have exact heights, but I imagine Lincoln being somewhere between probably like 5'6" and 5'8", and then Beatrix being a lot shorter at between 5 foot and 5'2". Lincoln is pretty happy with her height. Beatrix is not. That's why she wears really big chunky platforms. Is Beatrix an e-girl? Obviously. I actually designed her before e-girls were really a thing, or at least before they became a popular thing. I had no idea what an e-girl is, but then they started being popular, and it's perfect. Also, a side note, I realized while I was drawing the picture for this video that Beatrix literally looks like an e-girl version of my sister. So yeah, if my sister became an e-girl, she'd be Beatrix. Do they prefer books or movies? Lincoln prefers movies, Beatrix prefers books. How did I get the inspiration for them? Like I was saying earlier, the entire point of their characters is for Aspen. I kind of needed to flesh out Aspen a little bit more, and due to Aspen's hatred for literally everyone and everything, I thought that being able to flesh out Aspen using different characters would be really interesting, so that's why they exist. So that's kind of how I decided to create 2 additional characters for the story, and then as for their specific personality and their appearance and stuff, they're kind of supposed to represent Milo and Bishop, they're kind of foil characters, if you will, and Lincoln and Beatrix are the reason why Aspen starts to tolerate Milo and Bishop. But basically, Lincoln is supposed to be a combination of the two, and then Beatrix is supposed to be a combination of the two. Are they not dating? Everyone wants to know. Are they gay? When you saw them, you were like, are they lesbians? I don't know. Here's the thing. The short answer is maybe. So, we all know I am infamous for drawing my characters in romantic situations and then insisting that they are not dating. But here's the thing with their relationship. So before my channel even got big, and right when I was creating them, and before any of Oliver's Antics happened, and I was just doodling away in my own sketchbooks making characters and stories, I've always wanted to write their relationship as being a lot more open to interpretation. So I just want to write them being really close and kind of having more than a platonic relationship, but not necessarily a romantic relationship, if that makes any sense. So this is the first time where my characters may or may not be dating. I don't know if that's really the answer you're looking for. I know a lot of people will take that and be like, they're dating now, and that's fine. If you want to view them as dating, then that's okay, because again, I wanted to write them as being open to interpretation, and so for every single person who reads this story at some point when it is out in, again, a million years, some people might see them as dating, some people might not. And that's what I want. So if you want them to be dating, then they're dating. And if you don't want them to be dating, then they're not dating. So you guys have fun with that. And as I'm saying this, there's already at least a handful of fan arts being drawn of them. What is something they would never do under any circumstance? They would never intentionally hurt someone. They both have been really hurt, and they've both been intentionally hurt, and that's caused them a lot of turmoil, and that has really put them down paths they didn't really want to go down, and so that's not something that they really want to force onto anybody else. Are they friends with Milo and Bishop? Yes. Like I said earlier, they are the reason that Aspen starts to tolerate Milo and Bishop a little bit more, and they get along super well. Like, Lincoln and Beatrix adore Milo and Bishop. They get along very well. They're adorable. Are they procrastinators? Lincoln absolutely is, and Beatrix is not. Lincoln is the type of person who will put things off until the last minute, and then Beatrix is constantly lecturing her about how she should not do that and is really pushing her to get her work done, but it never even works. It's a mess. The most important question I will ever be asked: do they prefer Teletubbies or Peppa Pig? They prefer Teletubbies, and then Milo and Bishop prefer Peppa Pig, and then they fight about it. In Mario Kart, what characters would they pick and who would win? Lincoln would always pick Yoshi, Beatrix would always pick Drybones, and Beatrix would always win. Neither of them are super into video games, but between the two, Beatrix likes them more than Lincoln. Why haven't I seen them? I feel personally attacked by this. Yeah, I know, I don't draw them a lot, I'm sorry. We all know that I've been neglecting my characters. It's a real issue. I need to stop making so many characters because then I feel bad for never drawing some of them. And lastly, a very important question: who would make the dad jokes? Lincoln 100%. Absolutely. Alright, that's all the questions I've got. You guys had a lot of questions for them. A lot of fun questions. And I hope that you enjoyed the questions that I picked. I wish I could answer every single question that you guys had, but that's not really possible at this point. And I hope that you enjoyed Lincoln and Beatrix. I definitely should draw them more because they're characters that have a lot of fun writing, and I really like their designs, and I think that they're really fun. So let me know if you think the same, and also if you want me to draw them more, comment down below telling me how angry you are that I never draw them. Like I was saying, this is the last video of this story universe thing. Next month is going to be my soon-to-be webcomic characters, and I'm super excited for that. I'm really excited to share them. I usually am very tight-lipped with plot stuff, so and that's not going to change. If anything, it's going to be even more tight-lipped because that story is more close to being out, and I'm sorry, but I'm so excited for you guys to see those videos. And also stay tuned because I am going to be asking some important questions in those videos. So stay tuned for that, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you've enjoyed the story. Let me know who your favorite character in the story is, and also if you are new here, consider subscribing because I post a new video every single Wednesday and then extra videos whenever I can. I draw a lot of my own original characters and I just make a lot of fun illustrations, and I hope that you subscribe, please. I need it. And you can also follow me on social media if you would like. They will be on screen now and linked in the description box below. If you want to see more of my art, I would recommend following me on Instagram because that is where I post my art, but if not, then don't even worry about it. And you can also watch some videos that will be on screen now and linked in the iCard for you if you want. Again, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.